Welcome to the historic Horror Zones. Make sure to subscribe and give a like so you can always enjoy our latest videos on history. Isaac Sprague, the human skeleton. Isaac Sprague was born with a rare condition that stopped his body from gaining weight. He grew up extremely thin, and by adulthood, he weighed only 42 pounds. Instead of hiding, he joined traveling shows where people came to see his unusual figure. His fragile body amazed crowds, but behind the fame he lived with constant weakness and struggle. At the Last Frontier Hotel Nuclear Test, 1953. In Las Vegas, tourists once gathered at a hotel pool to watch atomic blasts rise over the desert. In Nue, 1953, nuclear testing was treated almost like a form of entertainment. Families, vacationers, and reporters watched the mushroom clouds without realizing how dangerous radiation could be. It was a strange time when fear and fascination existed together. Retro-designed robot stroller. In the 1950s and 60s, companies built robots that looked futuristic to show the world how far technology might go. One strange invention was a robot that pushed a baby stroller. These designs were less about real use and more about showing people a dream of a machine-driven future. They amazed audiences, but also revealed how people imagined technology in unusual ways. Gus Waldorf wrestling a bear, 1949. In March 1949, Gus Waldorf stepped into a wrestling ring to fight a trained bear. Events like these were promoted as thrilling entertainment, even though they were risky for both man and animal. The bear was forced to perform, and the crowd cheered without. Thinking about safety, it shows how strange and dangerous public attractions could be in that era. The Wildman Suit. The Wildman Suit was a strange outfit, covered with long metal spikes, designed for survival against animal attacks or close combat. Nobody knows exactly who made it first, but the armor-like costume was displayed in a Texas museum. It looked more like something from a fantasy story than real life. The suit reflected people's fascination with bizarre inventions. Electric bucket treatment. In the 1930s, some doctors experimented with unusual devices that used electricity for health. One strange method involved sitting with arms and legs in buckets of water connected to wires. The current was believed to improve blood flow and cure problems. People trusted these treatments at the time, even though today they seem dangerous and unscientific. Flu-era air filter mask, 1919. After World War I, a deadly flu spread across the world, and people created unusual devices to stay safe. One invention was a heavy mask connected by a tube to a filtering machine. A woman could sit and breathe through it while reading. It showed how fear of disease made people desperate for protection, even with strange-looking equipment. 4. Armed women of Maryland. In 1950, 4 women in Maryland decided to protect their neighborhood from criminals. For weeks, men had been terrorizing the area until these women armed themselves with rifles. They bravely captured the troublemakers and held them until police arrived. Their courage became a rare story of ordinary women standing up for their community. Prohibition satire photo. In 1919, when alcohol was banned in the United States, many people opposed the law. Some mocked it through satire and staged photographs. One picture showed a group ridiculing the strict rules of prohibition. It captured the frustration of a society divided between those who wanted morality and those who simply wanted freedom to drink. Hell's Cafe in Paris. In the 1920s, Paris became famous for unusual cafes that gave customers strange experiences. One of the most famous was Hell's Cafe, which looked like a vision of the underworld. The walls, furniture, and lighting created a dark and spooky atmosphere. Artists, writers, and curious visitors gathered there, enjoying food while feeling like they had stepped into a nightmare. Martin Laurel, the human owl. Martin Laurel shocked audiences in the 1930s and 40s with his strange ability to twist his head, almost all the way around. He became known as the human owl and performed at circuses and fairs. People paid to watch him demonstrate his unnatural flexibility, and he even made it into Ripley's Believe It or Not. His rare skill brought both fame and curiosity. Police car safety grille. In the 1920s, cities were struggling with the rise of cars and accidents involving pedestrians. To reduce injuries, some police cars were fitted with special grilles on the front. These metal bars were meant to stop people from being run over if struck. The idea was innovative for the time, though it looked unusual and was far from perfect. The auto wash bowl car washing was not always the way we know it today. In the 1920s, an invention called the auto wash bowl was designed to clean cars by letting them drive slowly through a pool of running water. The flow was supposed to wash the wheels and undercarriage. It was a creative attempt at automation, even if it never became widely popular. The two-headed dog, 1954. In 1954, Soviet scientist Vladimir Demikhov shocked the world with a gruesome experiment. He surgically attached the head and front legs of a small dog onto the body of a German shepherd. For a few days, both dogs were alive, able to eat and drink separately. The experiment horrified many, but became a milestone in transplant science. Women. With extremely long hair. In the early 20th century, long hair was considered a symbol of beauty and femininity. Two women posed proudly with their unusually long hair, which almost reached the ground. At the time, women spent years growing and caring for their hair because it was seen as a mark of elegance. The photograph captured how beauty standards were very different from today. The Amityville Ghost Boy. 1976. During a paranormal investigation at the infamous Amityville house in 1976, a chilling photo was taken. It showed what looked like the figure of a young boy peeking from behind a doorway, even though no child was present. Believers claimed it was proof of a haunting, while skeptics thought it was a trick of light. The photo remains one of the most debated ghost images in history. Secret witness in court in 1952. A trial in Washington introduced a strange way to protect a witness. Because the case was dangerous and involved drug crimes, the person testified while hidden behind a sheet. This allowed the voice to be heard, but kept their face secret. It was unusual for the time and showed how serious the threat of retaliation could be. Masked beauty pageants. In the 1930s, some beauty pageants tried to judge women only by their bodies. To make this possible, contestants wore masks that covered their faces during competition. Organizers believed this would prevent bias from facial beauty. The practice was rare and unusual, and today it seems strange to imagine women hiding their faces in contests. The Uranium Burger, 1954. In 1954, during America's uranium mining boom, restaurants used the craze to attract customers. One place in Salt Lake City served a uranium burger, a meal named after the element that symbolized progress and modern science. People ate it with excitement, not worrying about the dangers of radiation. It was a sign of how nuclear energy was once marketed as safe and even fashionable. Smoking in bed device. In the 1950s, inventors created a strange device that allowed people to smoke while lying down. It came with an inflatable pillow, a tube, and a protective mask to keep ashes from burning the bed. While it looked futuristic, it was also dangerous, as smoking in bed caused many fires. Still, it showed how people in that era were fascinated with convenience, even in risky ways. Jacob Miller and the Civil War bullet. Jacob Miller was a soldier during the American Civil War who was shot directly between the eyes. Miraculously, he survived with the bullet lodged in his skull and lived for another 17 years. He suffered constant pain, but managed to continue his life. His survival story became famous as one of the most extraordinary examples of human endurance. Mirandagio. The human pincushion Mirandagio amazed people by piercing his body with sharp objects without showing signs of injury. He performed these acts publicly, making him a mystery to doctors of his time. For years, he shocked crowds by pushing needles and spikes through his skin. Tragically, his life ended when he swallowed a needle that pierced him inside, proving he was still mortal, despite his unusual ability. Portable sauna tub. In 1955, a new invention called the portable sauna tub became popular. It enclosed the entire body in a small steam-filled box while leaving the head and arms free. People believed it would help them sweat out toxins and improve health. Though it looked funny and uncomfortable, it reflected the 1950s fascination with modern wellness gadgets. Thank you for watching this video. Don't forget to leave a like to support our work and share your thoughts in the comments.